Okay, Julz, you're gonna have to check this.
We're gonna have to figure out,
because we need to get him a microphone.
Right here. All you gotta do is come around.
Right there. Yeah. Can you turn it on?
It's gonna be the same as others.
Okay.
Mic 2 is both of those. Mic 2 is them, and you mic 1.
Okay.
This control those both of those mics. Okay. This is you. You always number 1. Number 2 is both your guest mics, but they're gonna be the same volume. So they're on the same patch.
Okay.
So you have earphones. You got earphones in for everybody now.
Okay.
All right.
So there's one there.
Yeah, and one over there. Yeah.
Do we need the microphone?
Yeah, I think we should try putting it on.
All right, let's go.
Did you get your angle?
As good as we're gonna get right now.
All right. That's my man Anthony Hall out of Philly. He's coming too real soon. Yep. Just down the street, as they say. Good morning to you. Let me get out of here. Y'all ready? Let's go. Let's go.
What now?
Be careful what you pray for, because you just may get what you're asking for. What you other God made you, and what you become of yourself is you'll get back to God. So you know what you got to do, right? You got to be somebody the Lord can be pleased with, and everything will be all right. Man, you're my brother. Woman, you're my sister. I love you both. No matter what comes in this world, you can, you will, you must, and you shall survive. Why? Because you are survivors. Hey, 12 noon to 1. Shawna and Julz, conversations. Hey, at 1 o'clock to 4 is Reggae Ball. With I Revives, the best reggae in the state. 4 to 7 is Yours Radio. Donnie Ojamo, B. Lou and the crew, Cheese, doing what they do. Then 7 to 9 is the OG show. Andy, Ski Boogie, beating down your block. You know what they do. OG. He probably said, did you say OJ? No. A&D. I might have did say OJ, but A&D. I know he'll see me, he'll say something about that. That's the rundown on Sunday mornings. I come in at 6 a.m. to 12 noon. Good morning to you. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Love somebody. Be friends with somebody. Don't be no enemies. We out of here.
All right, girl.
Okay, Jack. Why are you calling?
Yeah. I'm gonna move my chair over
Can
here.
we see? Yeah, move. Figure it out.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Single selection. Let's see if this works on this. This is the craziest thing in the world. Of course, it won't work.
I just can't see what's happening over here.
That's not coming up. Sunday
All right,
play
this
date.
works.
Is that what y'all call? Y'all call it Sunday play date?
It's called the Julz Showing Up Playdate.
Oh, he got you there. He got you. He got you in there.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, see that? So this is y'all's name on here.
All right.
See it? He got y'all as a Sunday play date.
Okay.
Here's what you do when you ever want to use this while you practice. So look, you can go out of this. As soon as you come on, you take this right here, that fan, or this right here, the same thing, OBS Studio.
Okay.
You click that. It should open up. When it opens up, you go to Sing Selection. You look for your name. Y'all name is Sunday Playdate. Which will come up there. Your cameras are on, which is here.
Right.
I'm gonna do something.
Add cameras. These cameras.
Hi guys. Let's get this set up. I gotta do something on the
Start streaming.
Facebook.
Yeah.
If you just stream, you can record. You have to start stream and start recording.
Okay.
You got both of them being automatically on.
Okay.
But that's how y'all listen as the Sunday play. Wine or orange slice. They run this.
Okay.
This their thing.
I gotta get Ron.
Ooh, orange slide.
Yeah. Orange slice.
Orange slice?
He's the intern.
Oh.
So he's the what I say, he's a technical fool.
Oh my God.
We need him.
How do I get to meet him?
He's always young boy. He's young.
I love that.
We love Young.
Are you ready?
Yeah, girl.
Get you here. Two. Direction.
When are we bringing Sharp Ronnie?
Huh?
When are we bringing Sharp Ronnie?
In 20 minutes.
Okay.
12 o'clock. We're gonna start.
Bang.
Top of the hour.
I'm trying to Oh, here we go. Let me share. All right, we're gonna put it on my page and your page.
I do it.
Well, my internet is uncooperative. We need to get. Can we get a chair back there for Ronnie?
It may not fit, but I tried to.
Okay.
Or a stool?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, ready. Legal ID.
Okay.
It should be.
Live 97.5 WKTT.
This is YouTube.
Serving all of
This
Delmarva.
is
This is Rojo Broadcasting.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Gotta behave ourselves.
Oh no.
97.5.
It's no fun at all. I'm gonna move this over here. All right.
Oh, I love this intro. Thank you for caring for us.
Yes.
That's all on here, though.
Huh?
That's on here.
Okay.
So when you learn this is the S cut.
Yeah.
You hit files or directory. You're on the hit Ron. The name's Ron, right? What you do, you look through that, take the cursor, the wheel right here, and find in the club, file in.
Uh-huh.
That's that right there.
Okay.
S cut is right here. That's your control, not your mic.
And it gives me the up
Yeah.
and down of the S cut. Okay.
It's S
Now,
cut.
when does it go off?
So it's gonna last. See that? The time. See the time of that? That time. So this is 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Oh, okay. Let's
All right.
go. I
All
like that. Thank you. I
you
learned.
so like over here, you find music on YouTube or anything like that. That's Cool Edit. That's CE right here. So whenever y'all streaming, you got to have your mic on audition right here.
Yeah.
Or you won't hear nothing on the stream.
Oh, wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
If the audition is not on, then when you on, you're not gonna hear no audio on here. So like if I see that right there,
Yeah.
if I hit this right here, like watch this. Play with it. Right? Watch this.
Oh.
You're not gonna have no audio. It has to be an audition at all times.
Okay.
Right? So look. That's how your reading is when you look at your show. It's your reading when you record. All right? Now you go, you on now. Y'all recording. Y'all go.
Sweet.
When you're gonna start recording, hit start streaming
Yeah.
and start recording.
Okay. You got it, Shawna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There it
We're
is.
figuring out our technicalities.
Wow.
We got three
And to turn my
camera
volume down,
streams
to
going
turn
here.
the volume down. I'm sorry.
All volume is this way,
Okay.
up and down. That's your control. All right.
Okay.
Remember, this mic here and this mic here is mic 2. You mic 1 by yourself there too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
You got it. It's your turn. Go for it.
All right. Go ahead.
Hello. Good morning. Oh, what do I do?
Make sure that's on. Cut your audition on.
Turn it down to me.
Audition so you hear. Cut her audition on. All right.
Wow. Okay, so we're learning a lot here
That's the
today.
music.
I think the music goes off by itself, doesn't it?
Right there. That is.
There it is. It's done.
Hey.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Shawna. Good Sunday morning, afternoon to everyone. What a great gospel show there. It always inspires me. Welcome to Julz and Shawna Playdate here on 97.5, a community initiative. And we got so much to talk about today, girl. I mean, so much has been going on this week. Locally and nationally, the whole world is in an uproar about everything. So we're just learning how to do the controls here. We got a couple different cameras going. We're trying to get high tech, aren't we?
Yes, we are getting high tech. This is awesome.
We're figuring out. We got a camera stream over here, one over here, and one over here. So we are covering all the bases, and we're learning I like to have a little background music and some things. So Shawna's learning from the best over here.
Yes. What is
That gives us a little bit of background music. All right. So anyway, welcome. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here on Delmarva. There was a pride parade downtown, and I was looking for the glitter to be left over. I didn't go. Did you go?
No, I didn't.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I think they had a successful pride parade. I think the community got together. You know what I think about it? It's just great to have another event in the city that brings economic development. I'm an economic development geek. What can I say? But I think more than anything else,
Come over here this way a little bit so you can be seen on that camera.
there we are.
Okay.
So, but more than anything else, I just think it's important for us to share that part of our community, and to be seen is a really important thing, and that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, well, I was just saying I was a little disappointed because I really, really wanted to see glitter on the streets after work, like an after effect. And there was no glitter on them. I guess they were very neat.
Well,
my
you're so
conclusion.
funny. You're talking about the run, the color run.
The color run?
Yeah, there's a color run where everyone runs and then they spray color on themselves. It's a
Oh,
fundraiser thing.
Oh, no. I was talking about what I wanted to see as a residual of the parade. I really wanted to see a lot of glitter.
Well, it would have been nice, but the mayor is really happy that he doesn't have a huge cleanup. I think everything went well. I drove through the city once the festivities were over, and it was business as usual. And I have to give a big shout out to all the volunteers that helped out with the Gay Pride Parade.
We got to put up a volume on that mic.
Okay, there we go. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we got it. We have some instruction. We're still in a learning phase of how we are doing the Julz and Shawna Playdate, because we were doing a podcast where somebody else took care of everything, and we're going to get back to that. But now we're in the studio, and I used to be in radio for years, but it's been a while. I'm a little rusty. I don't remember anything. So we are relying on the kindness of others here at the station, well trained, to get us going. But yeah, so I was, this is the first inaugural Pride Parade the city has seen. I don't know how people feel about it different ways, but like you said, I like to celebrate. As a matter of fact, my voice, if you might notice, is a little hoarse today because that is a result of singing very loud over the weekend, singing and just really, celebrating life. So that that's my leftover glitter, I suppose.
Yeah, it was really quite a celebration. But this is a real somber occasion, because the moment we got over our Salisbury Pride weekend, Clarence Thomas hit the gavel. So you guys know that our Supreme Court has been having a rock star moment for quite some time now, through the Trump presidency and now. And
there's a lot going on. Oh my God, I'm getting whiplash.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. I think we're going to roll right into Roe versus Wade, because we're all confused. I'm confused.
You're confused?
I'm confused.
Well, first of all, they reaffirmed the Second Amendment right to conceal carry on a federal level, because every state had gotten all these Maryland's a perfect example of all of these contortions you would have to go through to be able to get a concealed carry. You had to have a reason, like you carry large amounts of cash for your business. I think realtors like me, for example, are allowed to get them just because of the nature of being in vacant houses. But you had to have a reason, and the Supreme Court affirmed that that is not the case, that you have a constitutional federal right to have concealed carry, but there are still conditions. Now that rocked people, because in the midst of that, all the congressional folks up there are just busy trying to come up with new gun laws because of the horrific things that have happened in mass shootings recently.
Well, we've got to do something, and we know what goes on there. It's a matter of where the next one will be, and we're trying to muddle through that as well. And that certainly isn't, that's an issue of money and power right there. So the issues, I think the safety of our children and our communities kind of definitely gets lost there. So we've got that, but we have got Roe versus Wade.
Well, Shawna's chomping at the bit to talk about it, because we've been chatting about it a bit. I mean, we're both women, we're both mothers. Of course, that law impacts everyone. And I was shocked, honestly, that happened. Not that I didn't think, because it had been leaked and okay, that's coming, but I'm getting up there. I'm no spring chicken anymore. And in my lifetime, I just
spring chicken.
I ain't no spring chicken no more. But I just assumed it would always be that way. And so it was a little bit of a shocker, even though I heard that it was coming.
Well, let's talk about that. For me, it was not a shocker. I think so many things have led to this. I think every election cycle, every administration has used Roe versus Wade and all these issues to make their political points. And it's a negotiating thing, right? Is it really about, what is it about? So let me just dial back a little bit. Where are we on that? I have not been watching a lot of news on it, quite frankly. But what did the Supreme Court say? What do you understand?
Okay, so really, they have just put the ominous of the law back on the states and not a sweeping federal law, as it were. And so the states are now responsible. Some would say, as they should be under the 10th Amendment, to make their own laws regarding abortion. And obviously now we have it, so there are almost abortion sanctuary states.
Yes.
And then, some banned where you can't have abortion in particular states.
So
that's where it is right now.
I don't know,
but people are freaking out, and a lot of women are freaking out.
A lot of women are freaking out, but what are we freaking out about?
There's a fear that they can no longer control their own reproductive systems, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I think that's, fear is never the way to go. And I understand the fear, but I understand more so unproductive noise. And this 50 years, we've gotten comfortable, I think. COVID has taught us that nothing is permanent. And we never thought that Roe versus Wade was going to go away. And here we are.
Here we are.
But this is an opportunity for us to reshuffle the deck and maybe come up with better solutions.
Well, I have said to you before, and I'll say it now, only the born people can argue this conversation.
Here you go with the born people.
The born people. That's my new term.
I noticed you're trying to make it a thing.
Well, it is a thing.
Born people.
Only the born people can have this argument or discussion. I just find some irony in that is all. Because I saw a young lady who was freaking out. They interviewed her and she said that she was born with these rights. She was born with these rights, she thought.
Well, this brings up an interesting thing.
And then she said, wait, she was born with these rights to control her own body. But that is and I'm going to be honest here, I'm a pro-life person for the most part. I understand this is a very complicated situation and there are exceptions, but I believe in the preservation of human life in all situations where we can preserve it. That's my belief. But I also understand this is a very difficult and touchy subject for people. And I understand that some people are interpreting this as forced births. And that is also it's an issue that I can understand.
Wow. Well, we're
not being as funny as we usually are because this is a very serious topic.
This is a very serious topic and it's made us somber. I mean, we're generally joyful and having fun. But this life situation that we're presented with is really interesting. So we decided to take a look at how this all began. Reproductive rights. Do we have anybody in the cast of characters that we can pull out of this thing from history? And this is why I don't believe in sanitizing history, just saying. Is there somebody we can look to say, you laid down a foundation that we built on, and here's where we are because we were not able to manage the expectations of Margaret. What's her name?
Margaret Sanger was.
Who's Margaret?
Margaret Sanger was the founder of Planned Parenthood. And she was much more. I don't know a whole lot other than that's where that institution was conceived, if you will. Pardon the pun.
So I call her the mother dragon of reproductive rights.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really shocked me about her, well, let's talk about who Margaret is.
Oh, I said, Shawna, do you know who Margaret Sanger
I'm
is?
sorry, I was jumping ahead of myself.
Because we were talking about all the abortion thing, and really, how did this come up as an institutional norm, really? And it's been 50 years, but there's been a lot more history prior to that. So how do we get to that, where it was an institutional norm, and how did it come about? Because that's really interesting to know. I mean, it's important, I would say.
Yeah, it was important for us to know, because I did not know this. So Margaret Sanger, this woman, and she often goes by Sanger, I think they took the L out. She was the birth mother of birth control, right? And her position was very clear that she opposed abortion. So she started off saying, I'm for birth control, but I oppose abortion because prevention is better than a cure. I'm with her so far.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
I think we're kind of back to that square level, but go ahead.
Prevention's better than cure. So she goes on this grand expedition throughout her career to get to, this argument of prevention is better than cure. And so she's proposing that women be given education for contraception and possibly, evolving into contraception. Of course, 1919, this was not a good idea. That everybody got on top of her with this. But she continued. She did not give up. And I'm going to say she was a little Hitlerish, because she started out with birth control, and she moved into her later life into eugenics.
Eugenics.
Yeah.
What's eugenics?
Well, it's this sterilization. So, it's the stuff that Hitler was all about.
Yeah.
Right. Now, she didn't call it racial sterilization. She called it parenthood. Like there was so we talked today about narratives and how is our society and our different factions going to brand their version of the new Roe versus Wade. So all the states, we were listening to the news this morning. One state said, the politician jumped out and said, I'm opening a pro-life support clinic.
Right.
So everyone's, branding for their position here. So let's get back to Margaret. She broke society up into three groups: the educated and the informed. And she felt like these people could regulate their family size, right? And those are the rich people, right? Rich white folks.
Yeah.
The second one is intelligent and the responsible. Now, the intelligent and the responsible are people who can control their families in spite of lacking means or knowledge. Yeah. So I think those folks, that's the rise of the middle class. I think we would put the middle class there.
She says they can have kids.
Right. And then the third class, which is probably where I fall in, is the irresponsible and the reckless.
Oh.
And those are people that are bound by religious beliefs that prevents them from exercising control over the numbers of babies that they're going to have.
Well, who determines what category you belong in?
Well, this is what we don't know. So
anyway, the point of the categories were?
Well, the point of the categories were that she then moved into her recommendation for society. And she felt like, based on these societal groups and all the research she's done, that we needed to control birth.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I'm heading. It's such a tough thing to get to. She basically said we had to control birth, but she does not believe in abortions.
Is that the same thing? Wait a minute. She does believe in abortion because that's what Planned Parenthood became about. And in fact, I think it was their means of the eugenics and working with that bottom layer of sanitizing it.
Yeah. Well,
it's a horrible thing to even contemplate, frankly. And, there were forced sterilizations before in our lifetime and in this country.
Well, she was also a big proponent of reducing the reproduction of the unfit in society.
Yes.
Go Margaret.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be half of us. And who decides who's unfit?
Who's unfit?
She was a little bit Hitler.
Is that a death panel?
Yeah, that's definitely a death panel.
I'm looking at the time because we have a guest coming.
We do have a guest coming.
And we do kind of need to move along, but it is an important subject. It affects women, it affects families, it affects everyone in some means. I mean, I think most people don't think it affects them until they're in that situation. And a lot of people, are not in that situation, so it doesn't. But it affects the vibe of our country, and it affects the perception of what people think is freedom at this point. I think it's a very deep subject, and times are changing.
They are changing. I just want to just put a point in it with Margaret Sangler. Her position was that limiting the number of births within to one's economic need. So your ability to raise a child was based on economic need.
How much money you have.
How much money you have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that would lead to the betterment of a society and a betterment of the human race. So that's how we started. And this is where we are.
This is where we are now.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah,
but
there really is.
well, let's move on to something really, really more fun. We have Somerset County Sheriff Ronnie Howard, who's visiting with us here today. We're very, very excited about that. So thank you guys for joining us here. Julz and Shawna's Playdate, a community initiative. And we have Sheriff Ronnie Howard.
I'm going to go get the sheriff.
Yes.
And set us up here.
He's going to be talking to us about his police academy and some of his community initiatives in Somerset County. And we're really looking forward to that. Hi, Sheriff Ronnie.
I think if you sit here maybe, or stand here if you prefer. I'm going to just stand over here. I'm trying to just make sure we're all on camera so everybody can see you.
Julie's on camera duty. She's doing a really good job.
I'm working on
Yeah.
it. Is this mic okay?
Yes,
Okay.
the mics are okay.
Yes.
It's so good to see you. How are you?
Well, nice to see you, ladies.
Wow. So how did this come about? Well, number one, and everybody knows this, I'm Somerset County strong. Chrisfield strong, right? They yell at me sometimes because that's all I want to talk about. But I did see something posted online. Lupita Alvarez, who's in the Somerset County education system, she posted something about Citizens Academy.
It's our annual Citizens Police Academy.
Let's read this.
Yeah, let's get in there.
So I was telling the sheriff that we had a bunch of Chrisfield girls at the house last night.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Well, we didn't know, and we started talking Chrisfield, and everybody raised their hand. Chrisfield High School, they're working here in the community, doing quite well. So that was really fun.
Yep. The annual Citizens Police Academy is something we've been hosting since 2017.
Is his mic up? I mean, you need to
There we go.
There we go. That's better.
How's that?
Yeah, tell us about it, because there's been a lot going on with the subject of police and citizens, and healing the divide, I guess, where there is mistrust, and really we need each other. The police need the citizens, and the citizens need the police. So how do we improve that? I'm really interested in what you've got going on down there in Somerset County and how this started. Tell us a little bit about that.
Back in 2013, every
Get
agency.
closer to the microphone if you would.
Back in 2013,
Thank
every agency was required to initiate a community policing policy. And every month, all the sheriffs, we get together for our monthly meeting. And I was speaking with Sheriff Adams from Cecil County. Great man.
Yeah.
Great sheriff. And he was telling me that his office had a Citizens Police Academy. And the more we talked, he says, I'll send one of my sergeants down who's in charge of it. And that's how it started, and it's went very well in the community it has. And we go over a number of topics. The very first night is introduction to the sheriff's office. And I
Okay.
explained to him that we're the smallest of all the offices in Maryland.
Right.
And our primary duty as officer of sheriff is the service to the courts. That is our primary duty.
Okay, that's a good one. I wanted to say, what exactly does the sheriff do, and what's that? Who do you report to?
Under the Constitution, our primary job as a sheriff, all 24 sheriffs in the state, is to service to the court security, prisoner transport, and what they call civil process, where you serve all the papers.
Okay.
And then it falls through criminal investigations and then traffic investigations. So that is our primary.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is our primary duty. That's the
It's
office
just
of
hard
sheriff.
to get the microphone.
Okay, gotcha. So now that I know how you guys sit, how's it going? How is it going in Somerset County and the sheriff department?
It's going really well. We have we're steadily growing. We are now at 37 personnel, and that includes myself and all our civilian personnel. Recently had a meeting with the county commissioners and the Board of Education, and we're getting ready to, preliminarily, we've been approved to hire five additional school resource officers.
Excellent.
And that will put a deputy in every school in Somerset County.
Excellent.
Yes.
So how, we just had the school shooting. I think that just rocked everybody's world.
Sure.
And I do have to say thank you, because I went to pick up my son who goes to SIS in Somerset County, and we did notice a very comfortable sheriff presence at the school. And I think everybody notices that, especially when that sort of thing happens. Let's go back to the Citizens Academy, because this is an opportunity for you to do what? Why is this important for the citizens to go through this process?
A lot of people look at law enforcement officers as being, should I say, like robotic, standoffish. People are very nervous and hesitant around police officers. In this here, it's very, very laid back, and it's not a strict environment. It's not. And I've told ladies and gentlemen who attend, I said, while I'm speaking, just raise your hand and say, I got a question. So, and it is. They really enjoy it. The first night is I introduce them to the sheriff's office, what our duties are, what our responsibilities are, and how we're acting in the community. And then the second night is always civil process, our main job, which is the courts. And then we hit the third night is usually introduction to use of force, because we see a lot of cases in the media now of use of force, what is allowed and what isn't allowed.
Right.
And then the fourth night, we have the participants, they get to use what our judgmental shooting system. It's called the firearms training system, where they have to make the decision whether to shoot or don't shoot.
Isn't that the virtual shooting? I've done that. That is a really great training tool.
Yes, and we tell them, say, look, we're not here to trick you. We want you to decide whether should I use my firearm, should I use my taser, or should I use my OC spray? They have to make that decision.
Yeah, I'm going to give a little plug here to Atlantic Tactical. I think it's Atlantic Tactical. I hope I have that right. That I took a course there, and I did that exact training of where you have to decide what is the use of force where you are allowed to defend yourself and what isn't. And you have to make it in a split second. And sometimes, at least on that, obviously nobody gets hurt, but it does give you a great awareness of where that line is.
Yes.
And really how you have to be careful with the trigger finger, because out of fear and adrenaline, people might pull it when they otherwise wouldn't. And it's a great way of conditioning, I think,
Absolutely.
for people who want to defend themselves.
Yes, and the ones that have went through the firearms training system, at the very last night, we have feedback from all the participants, and they all have said that they now look at use of force from a totally different viewpoint of it.
What do you think about getting folks in the community involved in some sort of neighborhood watch for schools is what I'm thinking, where they're actively involved. I mean, we have an officer at each school.
Yes.
And that's good. But I mean, what else can we do you think, in that environment, in your opinion, to shore up the safety of the schools?
Sure. We're getting ready to start a program called Volunteers in Police Service,
Okay.
where citizens will be able to assist us in different areas of different jobs that we perform at the office.
Right. Oh, neat.
This is really interesting. I'm sitting here just listening, and Sheriff Ronnie, I've always thought you to be a very thoughtful man. And I've always, your sense of community, it was just, it's quiet.
Yes.
It's action oriented. You're not a rah guy.
Certainly not an intimidating person. You're carrying that gun.
I
In
know.
all respect, you know what I'm saying, though.
I've always thought that that's what our community needed. But it does make sense now that I know that you are supporting the courts, but it sounds like you've got a training thing. You're very invested in the relations between the community and the police. And, how do you guys work with the state police?
We work very well with the state police. My deputies always tease me that you're no longer a trooper, because that's where I served for 25 and a half years.
All right.
And they always tease me and say, you're the sheriff now. You're not, you don't wear that brown and green. So it's a lot of good natured ribbon, but we have an excellent working relationship with Lieutenant Corbin, the barrack commander in Princess Anne.
How long have you been in Somerset?
I'm born and raised in Somerset. I've lived down Rebels Neck my entire life. I tell people I'm like a tree branch. Where I fall, that's where I stay. And I tell people when I was in the state police, they assigned me to St. Mary's County. Had never been away from home, and bam, there I'm in St. Mary's.
Wow.
And I would get homesick. I would drive to Point Lookout, and I could look across the bay and see the lights of Chrisfield, and I felt like E.T. going home.
I completely get that from you. You know, that's the sense that I've gotten from you. So what else is going on in your world? Well, there's an election.
Well, I was going to say the sheriff is an elected position. How long have you held that office?
I've been elected. This will be my third term.
Third term.
If I'm
4
fortunate
years
enough to
each.
get reelected. Yes.
Okay. And that election, is there a primary in July?
July 19th is the
Okay.
primary.
Right, yeah.
It is. Like I said, I left the state police in 2008, January and February of 2008. I went to the sheriff's office as a deputy. In 2010, I was appointed chief deputy by my predecessor, Sheriff Jones. And then in 2014, I was elected to my first term.
Right. So do you feel it's more of a dangerous job now than it used to be, or do you think it's all relative, or how do you feel about that?
It is. Law enforcement is becoming a lot more dangerous.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to say everyone is like this, but when I first got out of State Police Academy, you would walk up to a car, people were still very respectful. And I've seen that change over the years,
Yeah.
where when you stop someone, there's more confrontational. Why did you stop me? No, you're picking on me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say the Eastern Shore, I don't see a lot of it down here now. We still have the evil that is out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
We
It's
saw
getting-
it recently.
Absolutely.
Very sad.
What are some of your challenges that you're seeing now with your position in summer as it relates to Somerset County? So what are some of the issues that you would like to shore up and get some help or resources to put towards to move you to a successful level?
Sure. I can always use manpower. I can. That is going to be my biggest challenge.
How's the budget?
In the future. Commissioners were very good to us this year.
Oh,
and
good.
the last
Yeah.
couple of years. Last year, they enrolled us in the law enforcement officers pension system, which was a great improvement over the system that we were in. And they give a 13% pay raise last year. And this year they give another 8.5% pay raise for the deputies and all county employees, which is great. And our salary now is comparable to a lot of agencies
Really?
on the shore. It is. And with LEOPS, that's a big recruitment.
Yeah,
draw to us. It
I
is.
think that it is important as a small community for us to protect our law enforcement,
Sure.
because once we lose them, and there are other communities across St. Mary's, you know, they're
Oh,
paying more and all of this stuff. You know, they're gone, and it's a very competitive market for law enforcement right now. Who wants
Oh,
to
it
be a
is.
police
Right.
officer?
It is. And unfortunately, you're going to have bad employees in any profession you have.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are focusing on the very, very small few law enforcement officers who should not be law enforcement.
Right.
They shouldn't be. And they're everyone being judged by that one person. And I've tried to recruit people. And I've had young people tell me, I would love to do it, but if I have to use force, am I going to be crucified for the
Right.
sake of public opinion?
Absolutely, you will be
And
crucified.
and the ones we want to hire, they're not going to do it. And the ones that we should not hire, unfortunately,
They're the
we're going
ones
to have
who are
to, as the
willing.
old saying knows, you're going to have to hold your nose and hire them. And it's
Yeah.
it's getting difficult, not just for sheriffs, for chiefs and state police.
And
Yeah,
for
and city.
education.
Absolutely.
You know, education and law enforcement are two of the building blocks of communities.
Yes.
And those two blocks are being under attack in a way that I don't, you know, we've got a lot of work to do there.
And the deputies at Washington High, Deputy First Class Tony Morton and Deputy First Class Tim Sykes. They do an incredible job there.
Right.
They
Yeah.
have a mentoring program there for the young teenagers,
Oh.
young men. And DFC Morton was telling me, he said a lot of these young kids have never read a book in their life. They don't know how to tie a necktie. And he says they're stepping up being father
It's the
figures for them.
Wow.
And
It's the
it's
soft
really-
skills.
It is, and it's really making a huge impact on a lot of the young men at
Yeah.
Washington High School.
You know, that's important. And I think it's great that the sheriff's office is stepping up because I didn't really know much about the sheriff's office, except I really like the badge.
Well-
I do. Figuratively, and Julie was hoping you brought stickers. But you guys are deeply into the community. Like, it sounds like you're really touching it on a level. A mentoring program for the youth.
I was just going to say we are all about,
Yes,
trying
I
to
mean,
find the
and those two
mentoring
young,
programs.
those two men, they do a fantastic job at Washington High School. They do.
And we should celebrate that. That
Yeah.
is so great. You know, thank you for mentioning that because all the good things, you often hear about the things that are not working.
Yes.
And I always say, how can I help you? When I hear someone getting grouchy about it, how can I help you?
Sure.
Because it is our job. It's how can we help the sheriff's office to do a better job? And this is why the Citizens Academy, when I saw that, I said, wow, this is really a brilliant thing for us to really reach across and reach in and do this together. So you are up for re-election.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm nervous.
Are you nervous?
Are you nervous?
I am.
No, I think you're pretty well liked in Somerset
Like I said,
County.
I've worked Somerset County since 1986. I have. I love Somerset County. I do.
You do. Yeah, you definitely, there's no question about that. I just learned from a training seminar I went to, it's a commitment. You're committed to the core values and you're committed and, everything else works from there. I enjoy the work you're doing. We did check around and talk to folks about what they thought, you're doing. And folks are really very happy. The Citizens Academy did get a lot of traction once folks heard about it and want to be involved. I like the mentoring program. And it seems to me that you are aware because you're working with the courts. You know what's going on with the youth, right? You're seeing all of that.
Absolutely.
How are we looking in that group with what's going on with the youth? Are they staying out of trouble, as the old people say?
A lot of it is, as I was when I was a teenager, I was mischievous, just like they are.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so you as a leader in the community, you're not thinking, we had a different, your parents need to step up. I guess it is the same. It's just a different time.
It is. We still need parents to step up and be parents
Yeah.
and not be friends
With
with
their
their
kids.
children. They have to hold them accountable.
Yes.
Yes.
Just as my mom was the authoritarian in with my three brothers and I joke and I tell people that if swinging a weeping willow switch was an Olympic sport, my mother would win a gold medal at it.
Yeah, right? Oh, things are different today.
Oh, it is.
You cannot do that. No, you cannot even mention it.
I know.
We had to pick the switch.
I
Yes.
know.
And if you picked one that was too small,
Back.
You have to go back.
It was double. It was terrible.
So how can people get involved in this program? Where can they go?
We normally advertise on the sheriff's office
Website.
Facebook page.
Oh, Facebook
We do.
page.
And
Okay.
we had a couple of ladies from Wycomico County that heard about it and come down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because really the tri-counties here
Yes.
are deeply ingrained in each other's business.
And Sheriff Lewis has been great. He's helped. He's come down and did presentations
Has
for
he?
me on.
Oh, they
Okay.
must have loved that. He's something.
Mike has a gift for speaking. I enjoy
He really
listening
does.
to him.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
And other sheriffs in the Sheriff's Association, they all say, Mike, you have a gift for speaking.
Right.
He is a great man. He is.
Yeah, I was. My heart goes out, of course. With the tragedy here. I think.
yes.
Undoubtedly, everyone's affected.
Just heartbreaking.
Oh,
yeah.
And his family, I want to say, his wife in particular. I hope I get an opportunity to meet her someday. She is the most amazing woman I've seen. The pillar of strength and grace and faith. I don't know how she's going to get through all of this, but she has God right beside her. You can
Absolutely.
tell.
Yeah, she's very much so.
And God bless that family, because it is hard. I mean, I've been in tears over it, and I don't know the man, but it's just the story is just heartbreaking, and we want to prevent things like that from
Absolutely.
happening again, and from anybody getting into a situation with the police and a citizen where somebody dies. It's just not a good situation, whether it's the cop or it's the person. And that is when we're at the end of the road, where things really go in a direction we don't want to. So you're trying to do, I think, proactive things in the community, which I really appreciate and admire, where we get together and let's lay down our weapons and be allies together to stand up for our community together, because most people are good people
They are.
who really want to do the best that they can, and they're just trying to get through this life. Most people are not the people that are going to end up in these situations we're talking about, but those people do exist, which is why we need law enforcement. And when the stuff hits the fan and you need those guys there, they show up and they put their life on the line in many cases. So we need to be able to improve those relationships and that trust bond,
Yeah.
that we're really all on the same side.
Well, I'm thinking about your family, and Julie just mentioned the wife of Officer Glenn. Your family. I mean, you guys are not alone. How is your family doing? How's your family?
They're doing well. Been married 35 years to Lainey.
Wow.
Next July.
Lainey.
Yeah,
Hi,
we gotta
Lainey.
give a
How
shout out to the wife here,
A
because
we were fixed up on a blind date by the clerk of the court in Somerset County.
oh my
Carolina.
goodness, really?
Yes, my daughter Alexis is 32. She just got a job working as a dispatcher at Wycomico Sheriff's Office.
Nice.
And my son Cole works at Channel 47 in sports journalism.
Oh, that
Oh.
is wonderful. So we want to give a big shout out to your family as well, because as you care for the community, we have to care for you guys. How can we help the sheriff's office as a citizen? Give us some direction. What can we do to help? Be good citizens.
The support is the biggest thing it is. I mean, we have people that will just drop in and give us a thank you note every once in a while, and that means a lot to the deputies. It really does.
Cookies.
I've done that
Cookies.
before. Yeah, because sometimes they need it.
Yeah.
But it's on the Eastern Shore. We're very fortunate to have strong support from the community.
From the community. Oh,
We
yeah.
do. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, I
We are.
think overall the Eastern Shore law enforcement are together, or at least they're strategically, moving forward in a healthy way. I don't see a lot of brutality being broadcasted.
No.
I really do get a good sense of community. Now, I've been in Baltimore. I was in Baltimore last week. Besides the driving, which is awful,
Horrible.
it was horrible.
Thank God to be here on the Eastern Shore.
We go one way. We go from north to south. There, you're going right, left, and all over. But having an opportunity to just interact with, folks that grew up in Bmore, it's different. It's different. And I'm just really grateful for Somerset County. It's just a really, really beautiful place. And thank you for caring for us in Somerset County. Another question about your community initiatives. Does the Sheriff's Office get involved? Do you support nonprofits in any way? Do you have a fund where you donate to the Christmas fund? Or if they come in and say, Sheriff, can you buy raffle tickets? Do you guys have a budget that we're discretionary?
No, we do not. Most time when people come in for raffle tickets, deputies out of their own pocket will pay.
Excellent.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got to care for you guys.
Yes.
Um,
And most of my deputies are from Somerset, but most of them now, the vast majority live in Wycomico and Worcester County.
Okay.
I'm gonna. So the motto of Somerset County.
Semper Idem.
Say it again.
What? What is it?
Semper Idem. Always the same.
Semper Idem.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Always.
If you know anything about Somerset County, it is pretty much, you can rely on it to be what it was and what it is.
That's the beauty that I've come to love about the non-change, especially in the world around us is changing, right?
Yes.
Everything stays the same. And I feel the same way about you. I want you to be the sheriff.
Thank you.
Yeah, we like the consistency, really.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I do want to wear the hat. I told Shawna.
yes.
I asked Shawna if I could wear the hat. Oh, he's gonna let me.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
goodness! For
Strap
1 second, I can pretend
Strap
like
goes to the back.
strap goes to the back.
And you got to tilt it down in the front.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Like that.
Look
Did
at
you
that.
dress for the hat?
Because I got the blue on.
I think you did.
Citizens arrest here.
Yes.
Shawna's out of control. Yes. Citizens arrest for being too funny. All right, you got to do it.
Oh wow.
We
So
got to do it.
we'll try the hat on.
I have
This
my
is
things
wonderful.
on. I know. I'm so excited.
Oh.
Let's see if people can see us.
Right?
Oh
Okay.
no, it's not working.
Okay.
Tilt it down in front.
And tilt it.
There you go.
Ah, there you-
Why?
oh, that sits nicely.
Well, we're not getting it
I
on.
like that. This is
Yep.
good. We love your hat.
Yes, we do, and we really appreciate you, Ronnie, for coming in here and
Thank you
talking
very
to
much
us,
for the
talking to
invitation.
the community, and just making yourself available and open, and letting us know that that you are here to help us, and you're our friend, and you're on the side of the people to protect them, and you're doing your best to do that in Somerset County, and it does take a village for all of us to work together.
And since my first term, I've always had an open door policy with the community.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, if you pull up and see my black truck there in lot, you can come in and talk to me.
Access is important.
It is.
Yeah. And that's the feeling I get. I just don't feel like we're apart. And I've never felt that way in the community with you. I just never felt attention as a community member with you. And I think that that's really important, and that you were accessible.
Yes. Like I said, I'm born and raised there. And a lot of people said, well, why didn't you ever leave Somerset County? I'm like, that's my home. That's where I wanted to work.
Now, I like to do data because, there's do I like Sheriff Howard or don't I like Sheriff Howard? That's a matter of personal opinion. We're all entitled. But I always like to go into some of the things that you have done, right? You're a lifelong resident of Somerset County, but under Sheriff Howard's watch, your accomplishments include the law enforcement officer suspension system.
Yes.
Right? That's a really interesting one. The reestablished canine unit.
We just reestablished that. The health department purchased the dog for us,
Oh, nice.
and that's a drug dog.
Oh,
A
wow.
Labrador. It's not a patrol dog.
And we reestablishing the Marine unit.
Yes, that allows us to go to Smith Island.
Yes, that's my favorite
Oh,
one.
that's so
We'll
cool.
go to Smith Island when they call for service. We'll ride over,
Yeah.
and then obviously we have to go over and serve civil papers as well.
Oh.
So what did you do before that? Did you just hitch a ride with Captain Jack or whatever?
No, we had to call Natural Resources Police. If they weren't available, then the Coast Guard
Oh,
would take us.
wow.
Okay. And for those of
Okay.
you who don't know, Smith Island is Somerset County, and it is an island. We have an island.
Yes.
That's what's very unique about Maryland and Somerset County is we're probably the only with two islands off the
Yes.
coast. So that happened. Evidence property software tracking system.
A lot of people say, well, what is that?
What is
And I'll
that?
say, well, you ever seen the grocery store been in there? They have the barcode tracking there. And that's what it is. And it tracks the evidence better instead of having to do it by hand.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is.
That is so huge. You're talking about lowering conviction rates due to error. You're talking about just having a system, and the fact
Yes.
that you didn't really have one, or maybe you needed an upgrade, and you identified that.
It was definitely an upgrade.
Yeah,
It was.
that was very important for you to keep your eye on that ball. Establish school resource officers program. We talked about that. Purchase new laptop computers for deputies. Yeah,
Yes.
digital access.
Everything is digitally
Everything is
now.
digital. It is. And we were supposed to receive them in late May. We still have not received them yet, and they keep upping the delivery date. So we're hoping they come in soon.
Do you guys have body cameras down? And
We don't. That is the next grant when it comes out. That's
Right.
what we're going to be applying for.
Yeah, and we'll, as a community initiative, what we do is we want to celebrate the good things in community, and we want to help you to dream that dream, get the community behind you to just give you a rah, because
Yeah.
all of that good energy really helps you to get to those goals that you're doing on our behalf. And hosted self-defense training for women.
That's good.
Deputy Sykes was the instructor for that, and we had that at the office, and it was well attended, and the ladies that attended, they really enjoyed it.
That's a really, really good one. That for
Yes.
on every level, I think, and you get a chance to work out.
Yeah. Right. Little Pilates in there.
And
Oh, I see that's what
and
this
so
is.
there
I'm
is
trying to
just
turn
a whole
his-
bunch here, and we're kind
Trying
of.
to turn his mic.
I'm
up
sorry,
a
and
little bit.
we're heading towards the end of our show, but here's a really, really interesting one because I'm a Second Amendment. I believe in the Constitution. We all
Yes.
do, and so guns. I don't know if, yeah, but you established Somerset County as a Second Amendment sanctuary.
Oh,
Please
right.
tell us about that.
Well, my thing is this. What gives me the right to tell anyone in Somerset County what type of firearm to own for hunting or self-defense purposes?
Right.
And we keep hearing the government say, we want military weapons off the street, military weapons, and it is. Well, we have military surplus firearms at the office, Winchester 12-gauge shotguns,
Right.
9mm sidearms, 40 caliber sidearms. These weapons that are what men and women, whether you're in Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia, own, and that's military weapons. So my question is, or my concern, when they say military weapons, where does it stop?
Yes,
That's my concern.
and I think that is a big concern
And a
for
lot of
everyone.
people don't realize that 12-gauge shotguns are used in the military. I've never served in the military, but a lot of my deputies have, and they say, yeah, we use 12-gauge shotguns.
You're right.
It's a military weapon.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the law definitely, when you chip at the Second Amendment without responsible care or
Absolutely.
transition, it gets really serious, because I'm going to tell you, Sheriff Ronnie, when I look at the news and I look at the world, we live in a bubble. And if anybody comes for you, we need our guns to help you.
Right. Well, that's in the case if something happens where we would collectively respond with the police as citizens. That is a real life case scenario that could happen.
Like I said, I've worked Somerset since 1986, and I've never known anyone to use an AR-15 yet in the Commission of Crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough to be in a sort of a different area where, and I hesitate to say that because you never know what's going to happen
Sure.
tomorrow. But I think really, on the mental health aspect and with kids, we got kids shooting kids out there these days. That everybody wants something to be done, and I understand. I want something to be done too. This shouldn't be happening. But I think we're barking up the wrong tree when we're limiting people's constitutional rights. But we also have to figure out why people are going ballistic and doing crazy things that are unimaginable, unimaginable. So I think that's a mental health issue that this country is going to have to grapple with at some point.
There is mental health. We always go back to the mental health issue. But one of the things I see, and I don't know the data on this, I'm just opining about it. The folks that seem to have shot up the schools were not legally purchasing that gun. So New York's got the boyfriend law in place now and all of that business. But I think that I'm not afraid when we have these attacks on our constitutional, now the Roe versus Wade.
Yes.
I think it gives, it sucks.
It gives us an opportunity to re-examine things.
It gives us an opportunity to re-examine things and maybe to come up with better solutions and to really find out that there are other root causes there. So keep communicating and keep talking. And Sheriff Ronnie, you get to say one thing about the election. Give it away.
Go
Come
ahead.
on.
Well, I'm a humble person. I am. I love Somerset County. I have no plans on retiring anytime soon. And I would be very grateful for your support and vote on July 19th.
Yes.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in. You really are a good
I
guy. and
appreciate the invite.
It's a lot of fun, and thank you for letting me wear the hat. I wasn't going to ask you about the gun because I thought I'd better stop right there.
Well, I'm planning the next July Academy or Citizens Police Academy in October, and you ladies are
Okay.
Oh,
more than
we are-
welcome to come.
Yeah, we should
Yes,
definitely
we are
do
going
that.
to be coming, and
Yes.
we're going to be helping you to, promote things that are happening in the county just by sharing. I think that's a great way for folks to help by sharing and supporting, sharing the news, talking to your neighbors, reporting things if you see them, doing all of those things. That a good, a concerned citizen, a good citizen. But please don't flood Sheriff Ronnie with crazy calls as you're peeping Tom.
I know. No. Go ahead.
But this last class, we just finished a strategic plan for the office, my command staff and I.
Nice.
And I had the class participants
Okay.
give their input on what they felt. I said, look, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you think we're weak in something. I said, be brutally honest.
Right.
That's
great. An opportunity to improve what you're doing.
And you know what? I'm going to go back to this. What a transparent move. What a way to make your citizens a stakeholder in
Absolutely.
your process.
In Chrisfield Chamber of Commerce, I did the presentation to them, give the members there a copy of it, had great feedback from them.
Excellent. Yeah. So you're creating community partnerships and
Absolutely.
you're doing that incredibly well. Thank you so much, Sheriff Ronnie. And I will see you on the campaign trail, and we're going to keep track of all of this, and we'll constantly, just reminding folks. So if you have anything that you want us to share, if there are folks that you want us to bring to the table, so, to help you, we are definitely going to be doing that. And thanks again for joining us on Julz and Shawna Playdate. It's a community initiative, and we just did a community throwdown.
And it's been a great weekend. It's a beautiful day. I encourage everybody to get out there and just enjoy life and just enjoy the sunshine of the summer. I love summer. Here we are. And days are happy to me. I'm a horse from singing. I've been so happy. It's crazy. So let's get contagious happy. I mean, there's a lot of crap going on out in the world, but only us can make the decision to enjoy our lives in the here and now. And we're here now. So let's enjoy it.
Well, we've got 3 minutes. What do you want to talk about?
Well, oh my gosh.
How about transportation?
Oh, let's talk about transportation.
I want to share vehicles for change.
Yeah, we have to talk about vehicles for change.
Yeah, so
it's been such an exciting weekend. That's why I'm so happy, because there's been so much going on, and I'm just trying to share the good news. So go at it.
Okay, so we've got 2 minutes. So listen up, guys. Vehicles for Change is coming to Salisbury, Maryland. Vehicles for Change, the mission of Vehicles for Change is to award automobiles to low-income families so they can get around and do all of those important things that we need to create healthy communities.
Because without a vehicle here on the Eastern Shore, you can get nothing done.
No, the transportation system is something we have to look at. However, the other side of the mission is we are training ex-offenders to be certified ASE auto mechanics.
That's so cool.
Leading to master mechanics. So we're training ex-offenders.
Second chances.
So we have a building in Salisbury. We have a beautiful building, and we're getting to work in 4 months. We're going to be having a grand opening. I have a blank canvas to work with. I got to get stuff on the walls. I got to turn on the water.
It's so exciting, and I'm so happy that you have the opportunity to head this up. Vehicles for Change is just like a match made in heaven for Shawna's mission, because it's something I know you're passionate about. You can give people second chances. We can get vehicles to families that need help so they can get to work and be productive.
And move the kids around.
And move the kids around. And it's just like such a great give to this community, and I am so stoked for you.
So first order of business, we are building a team, and Sheriff Ronnie, you're all about this. He talked about his team epic teams do epic things. You can have a small team that's very mighty if you're all on the same page. So we are building a team here for Vehicles for Change Salisbury, Maryland. Indeed.com will have some of those listings. You guys can check out our Facebook page. You can check in with Julz and Shawna Playdate. And we're paying, we've got.
Oh, there's jobs.
Yeah.
Talk about
they're
the jobs, mechanic jobs.
Yeah. Or the instructor.
Instructor job.
We're starting at $65,000.
Which
on
is
the
a
instructor.
very nice salary, I think.
Yes, and we have an admin position. I'm also looking for a right-hand person. So there's all kinds of great stuff going on here. Thanks again for joining us here. Julie, you get the last 30 seconds.
Well, I'm just so happy that you guys came out and that we have been able to share some of the initiatives that are going on in Somerset County. We're going to be working in Worcester County and Wycomico County because we're just one big happy family here. But it's the Julz and Shawna Playdate on Live 97.5, a community initiative. And we want to bring the people, places, and happenings to you. So join us every Sunday at noon for Julz and Shawna while we get in the sandbox with who do we have next weekend? I'm not even sure, but if you're interested, you can get a hold of us. All right, there we go. Shawna's working the board. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Eric?
We got her to do it.
There's music.
Lady, great show. Great show. You're so
you.
powerful. Sheriff, I heard your voice. You sound like we're going to hire you.
Yeah.
We're going to hire you. You got a really nice voice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to keep
Do a
him in the
TikTok
sheriff's
with you
office.
before you leave.
Of
We'll
course.
make
Wow.
it fun. I lost my live stream on
We
Facebook.
want to get together with you at some
With me?
point.
I'm
Yes.
busy. I remember I have a band, right? So-
Yeah,
Well, we can come to your band.
yeah.
Yeah, but I told you it was in Blue River last
I
week.
know,
Y'all
we
didn't
didn't get
come.
to make it.
So we'll follow you and we'll
Yeah.
pop in and
Yeah, because it's a
celebrate.
community stuff too. I want to,
Okay.
see what we
Okay.
can do for the
All
community as well.
Exactly. So
guys.
that's going to be
Great
our next
day.
order of business.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
Oh, God, Mike was on. So